On the eve of Oklahoma versus Alabama, Sooner Nation, we have some recruiting news to talk about as Brent Venables, Jim Nagy, and the staff have offered another 2026 recruit what maybe looked like was going to be a flip. Now looks like it could be just a straight commitment as this kid has decommitted from the previous school that he was committed to. So we got to talk about it. We got to discuss it. And Oklahoma's got a couple of other flip targets that if you missed it the other day, well, we'll talk about them and touch on them towards the end of the video. Before we do that, though, as always, I want to hear from y'all. So join the discussion, jump in the comments below, and let me know how many more commits in the 26 cycle do you think Oklahoma's going to get? Because they've got several targets still floating around out there. And you never know, with National Signing Day coming up, there could be a few surprises. Also, if you're new to the channel, hit that like, hit the subscribe button. We're constantly talking about Oklahoma football and recruiting content. So we'd love to have you guys be a part of what we have going on over here. But today we're talking about a 3-star edge rusher, well, listed as an edge rusher according to 247 Sports, but being recruited by Nate Dreiling, who is a linebackers coach. So we imagine that he's going to end up being recruited as a linebacker for Oklahoma. In Dane Bathurst, who, like I said, just received the offer the other day, but also just decommitted from Duke. So if you want to read between the lines of Oklahoma offered him, he decommits, is that good news? Is there something that we need to be able to read into? I'm going to let you read in and come to your own assumptions there. But decommitted from Purdue, got an offer from Nebraska as well as Oklahoma. Recently took a visit to Notre Dame, so maybe Notre Dame is sniffing around as well. But looking at, Dane over here and, what he's able to bring Oklahoma, 19 total offers so far. Currently the 849th ranked player in the 247 composite ranking. So not someone that's going to move the needle a ton in the recruiting rankings if Oklahoma is able to land him, but definitely an interesting target for me because when I look at him and say, okay, he plays as an edge rusher in high school, Oklahoma's maybe looking at recruiting him as a linebacker. Could this be another cheetah for Oklahoma, a guy that would play linebacker edge, right? That's always a possibility. We've seen guys in Oklahoma recruit there before. He's 6'3", 230 pounds out of Carmel, Indiana, out of Carmel High School. So a really interesting prospect there. One of the things you really notice when you watch his film, really hard hitter and a kid that's got really good field awareness and where the ball is at. So you really like to see that. He's a two-way player out of Plant High School, where they went 8-4, and he made second round of Florida 6A playoffs. He got snaps on both on and off the ball, totaling 43 tackles last year, 25 tackles for loss, 10 sacks, and an interception. And he was used primarily as a fullback on offense, and that was according to Andrew Ivins over at 247 Sports. Looking at what he's been able to do this year on the defensive side of the ball for Carmel, 65 total tackles, 30 solo tackles, 19 tackles for loss, 7 sacks, 15 QB hurries, helped his team finish a 9-2 record. You can understand why Oklahoma wants this guy. He's a winner. He's a high-level producer at the high school ranks. Definitely somebody that I think could make an impact for Oklahoma. And I do think when you look at the linebacker position, Oklahoma's going to need to retool over the next couple of years. I do think you're going to expect to lose a couple guys there. I think the portal could be interesting, maybe bringing somebody in off the portal. But Dane Bathurst to be on the latest person that Oklahoma is going to try to pull into the class in a late eval cycle. But who else is Oklahoma looking at in the class? We've talked a lot about Noah Abbe, the 3-star offensive lineman that's currently committed to Tulane out of Friendswood, Texas, 6'3.5", 275 pounds. Like I said, an interior offensive lineman with 16 total offers. And the interesting thing here about Noah is he's a multi-sport athlete who competes not only in track and field, but basketball. He actually started out his career playing out as a tight end, and you really notice how he's really, I'm not going to say he's elite, but he's really proficient in his footwork, which is a big thing for an offensive lineman to be able to have that trait. And I've called it out a couple times, but maybe you get Noah Abbe and you can run some packages like you've seen Alabama do with Caden Proctor. Hopefully we don't see that this week, especially since he's a tight end by trade. So would be really interesting to see if Oklahoma is able to pull off the flip, and that would be a true flip because Noah Abbe is still committed to Tulane. So right now, still committed there, and that would be Oklahoma's second commit that they would be able to pull from Tulane. So Tulane we are not their friends right now. We are fully their enemies. Looking at Jaden Pettit, because that's definitely been a question I've seen a lot of people asking down in the comments. This one's kind of weird because it really felt like talking to sources over the past couple of weeks that Oklahoma maybe had that thing wrapped up and we should see something coming out soon. But Jaden Pettit's dragging this thing out. And the longer he drags this out, the worse it kind of feels for Oklahoma's odds to be able to go out there and flip him. Obviously, nothing's changed for Wisconsin. Wisconsin's continuing to back Luke Fickell. So the reasons why he committed to Wisconsin, they're still there. We'll have to see if Oklahoma is still going to land it. I know a lot of people are watching Missouri and what they're trying to do and flipping Jaden Pettit. I don't think Missouri is really a team Oklahoma fans have to be worried about in that recruitment. But definitely him staying committed to Wisconsin, I think, is definitely the threat. And I definitely think that's probably what you would look at as probably the most opportune thing to happen at this point in time in that recruitment. It's just an odd recruitment, right? Like, I think we felt that one was going to happen here pretty soon. It just keeps dragging on. So we'll keep our eyes peeled there. If anything new changes, I'll let y'all know. But Jacob Eberhart's an interesting one. That one's been thrown around a couple of times to me. At 6'3", 200 pounds, a guy that was projected to maybe play safety at Oklahoma with Brandon Hall, out of St. Louis, Missouri, from Kirkwood High School, the 428th ranked player according to the 247 composite ranking. So he is a 4-star, committed to Illinois. Obviously, everybody knows the story behind this and why he committed there. You know, his dad played there, so legacy kid. 40 total offers, though, from schools across the country. Like, this kid can go anywhere he wants. And, I mean, guy that I think a lot of people are going to recruit not only as a safety, but a wide receiver out of high school as well. So kind of like a hybrid guy. One of the things that you really like with his size is he's able to take those right angles. Just a really explosive player, really versatile, and somebody that, you know, hey, as an Oklahoma fan, I know I would really like to have him. Oh, no, the Oklahoma staff would like to have him. And they're putting a full court press here to try to flip him from Illinois. The question is, can you get over the factor of his dad playing at Illinois? I think that's really the question. His brother or his cousin, Marcus Golden, did play at Missouri from 2012 to 2014. So maybe Missouri gets back involved if Missouri wants to get involved here. I don't think they will, but you never know. He took an official visit to them on June 6th. Obviously, they've offered him. So just kind of have to keep an eye on what's going on there. But Jacob Ebehart, one that maybe we watch, maybe see something happen on National Signing Day. But that's kind of what's going on the recruiting trail for Oklahoma. Make sure you guys hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like, hit the subscribe button. We'll see y'all next time.